Welcome, distant traveler, to the very mysterious, very enchanting, but yet very dangerous forest called Mirkwood. This is the Battle of Mirkwood. My name is Apollo, Pixelated-Apollo. Thanks for stopping by, and I will be narrating you throughout this epic ordeal. A dark, ancient, evil power is growing in Dol Guldur and is commanding mindless orcs when to attack and where to attack. And a great invasion of Mirkwood is underway, led by Azog the Defiler, the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons. No, I'm just kidding. He's just the first one, the Defiler. He's leading this great army to destroy the borders of Thranduil, and of course, Thranduil will not bend the knee to Azog. Obviously, he's going to defend his land. He may not attack Dol Guldur, but he will protect his borders. So we have a small force of elves in very strategic locations. They do have home field advantage. They must use their knowledge of the lands to defeat this great, vast army from Dol Guldur, the great orc army. And that's our scenario for today. So yeah, get your snacks and drinks, get ready for a good old elven outnumbered last stand against a bunch of orcs scenario. This one is made by Sin of the Dark Cloud, and we are playing 3rd Age Reforged. It is out to the public. Be sure to download it, give it a try. There's links down below. So in this battle, there's two elven armies. There's just two, and they're very, very small. But again, they're super elite, and they have the advantage of the high ground. They are going to be taking on 4 orc armies. So 3 of them are going to be attacking from this direction. You can see on the mini-map. This 4th army actually shows up as a reinforcement army 15 minutes later. So once the battle begins, 15 minutes from that point. We also have other elven armies. This is not a reinforcement army. They're just deployed a little bit far away. They do have to push forward and try to get to the main defense. I'm really glad there's not a ton of trees over here. That way we can see the proper fight. So, you know, Mirkwood it's got a lot of trees. It's got a lot of trees. So let's go ahead and check out the player names and the army comps and get this battle underway. Hopefully you guys have your snacks and drinks ready, because we're about to start this one. All right, so let's start with the elves here. The first army is commanded by Son of Imladris. He really just has elven spears and elven swordsmen. He also has some archers in the back, of course. I mean, what is an elven army without archers? So a couple units of archers. He does have the Elder Royal Council, which is a very nasty unit. I think this is the unit that Thranduil is in. So he's in the front line supporting his elves, fighting against this great darkness. And then the second army, I think that's his whole army. He's got a couple more troops over on this side. So more missile troops, more just spears and swords and missile troops, really. The other army is consisting of a lot of pathfinders. It's led by Sin of the Dark Cloud, the creator of the scenario. He has the Elder King's Guard, which is the general's bodyguard, essentially. And then he has the Elven Archers, Elven Spears, and he's got a lot of the Elder Pathfinders. So he's bringing more cav compared to his opponent. So he's got to use this cav very aggressively, try to go after vulnerable targets, and try to take out a lot of, orc archers and such. Let's now move on to the orc armies. Well, this first army is commanded by Miles the Terrible. He changes his name. That rascal always changing his name. But he's got some Warg Riders. By the way, he is commanding Orcs of Gundabad. We got Bolg's Champions. Back here, we have the Witch Realm Hunter Guard. Very nasty hammer type unit. Over in the front lines, he is bringing some Orc Fellers. He's got the Witch Realm Scourge Raiders, and he has the Witch Realm Pikemen, which is going to be a very important tool in trying to take out those elves. So a very solid force. I think he also has, see in the back, he's got Orc Marauders. I don't think he has Trolls. I think that's it. So we'll move on to the next army, which is commanded by Von Mountain, and he is bringing the Orcs of the Misty Mountains. He's got Goblin Infantry, heavy Goblin Archers. He's also bringing some Warg Riders, some Underground Goblins, which are pretty tough. He does have the heavy Goblin Halberds, and that's pretty much it. I think over here he's got, oh, look at this, heavy Goblin Crossbowmen. That's pretty cool. Orc Bodyguard. And yeah, that's oh, wait, we got some Snow Trolls. So fantastic. We do have some trolls on the battlefield. Love to see some trolls. I love my trolls. The final army, or not the second to last army, is commanded by Heath Horton, 2008. He has some Warg Riders in the back. He's bringing the Bolg's Champions. This is another Orc of the Misty Mountains faction. He is bringing some Black Uruks of the Mountain, and he has some Mountain Uruk Blades, which is a really cool name. He's got like 2 rows of them, and he has some Mountain Uruk Pikes, and in the front line, he's got Mountain Uruk Archers. So really nice, and he's got some Snow Trolls. Let's move over to the final army, and then we can really start this battle. So this is the Orcs of Gundabad, and he has in the front line Orc Marauders, the Rudor Savages, which is like evil men essentially. I wouldn't call them evil. I just say they're a little confused. And then he's got some heavy pikes, and back here he's got the Witch Realm Scourge Raiders, more of the Berserkers, the Rudor Berserkers, some Gundabad Guard, some Hammerers. The very back he's got the Trolls of Gundabad. I love Gundabad, man. They're awesome. And more Gundabad guards. So great armies full of orcs and trolls and everything you can hope for from bad armies. Bad as in, you know, like evil. So now the armies advance. And at this point, as we wait for the armies to get into position and begin the fight, let's talk a little bit about the strategy here. Let's see this elven army. Now, I think some of his army was hidden in the trees, so he actually does have a much larger army than what we first thought. Again, this is the perspective of Miles' point of view. You can see his army's in green, so we were not able to see the hidden elves. So they do have, look at this, they've got some woodland sentinels, which are now charging up the hill. So obviously, he's gonna hold on to this hill. And this is a bit more, honestly, I would say this seems a bit more like a siege battle than anything else, just based on the defenses and just how they're going to have to hold the defenses and hope for a miracle against such numbers, such evil orcs. There are multiple pathways, multiple ramps to get up on this platform. So as the attackers, okay, so let's talk about it like this. Okay, so if the attackers want to win this battle, they have to fight together. If they go in one at a time, obviously that's a fair battlefield for the elves. I mean, that's what they want. The elves could easily just kill one army after another, but if they go in together, that's what's going to really make it challenging for the elves. The elves do have another force over on this side, ready to hold this other strategic location. He's got some spears in the front. This is, I think this is kind of risky dividing up his army, but he can't really move these troops over. I guess he does at this point have enough time to move the troops over to the other side, over on this hillside, but he needs to go now because we do have a lot of goblins running through the forest. It's unfortunate that you can't hear the like random goblin screech that you hear during the movies, like ah, we're goblins. That's not what it sounds like in the movies, but you know what I'm talking about. That would be cool if they could somehow add that into the mod. But that's okay. This is fine. But yeah, he's pushing up very quickly. I think he wants to try to prevent the elves from grouping up with his other army in the center. There is a little valley down this way. The other elven player could easily move forward. Let's see what's going on here. Just pushing up his pathfinders. Nothing too crazy yet, but I think we're about to get our first infantry charge. The orcs of the Misty Mountains are not slowing down. Arrows are flying through the air already, and they're about to charge in and engage the elven defenses. And the fight for Mirkwood is about to begin. Really, it's begun, but you know what I mean. The infantry is about to collide. There we go. So these spearmen are very tough, guys. They need to get the pikemen up into the front. I think Son of Imladris is focusing down his ammo and trying to take out the pikes in the back, which I think is a brilliant idea. Let's see, what is he going for? Oh, he might be going for the trolls now. Now here comes the trolls, knocking down their own army just to get to those elven boys. But I've said this many times that elven flesh is very rough, and just, you know, being immortal doesn't really make for good meat, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so man flesh is a little bit better compared to elven flesh, but the trolls are more than happy to eat elf flesh. You know, they starved them a little to make them fight a little bit harder. I don't know why I'm talking about this. We'll move on to the battle here where these trolls are able to break the formation, get some trolls in the back line, harassing the archers, even kicking them around and getting a lot of kills. More spears in reserve are pushing forward, trying to reinforce that front line, trying to contain those trolls. And there you have it, guys. The secondary line of spears. Now we have some orc archers who are now putting down their wrath upon the elven archers. So that's always wise. You got to use your skirmishers to win these battles. Even though your skirmishers do not compare to the elven skirmishers, you got to use them to try to soften up the defenses and weaken their stand. Okay, so this main army's still pushing. He is breaking the center line thanks to the trolls. He's got to kill these trolls quickly. This is crumbling pretty fast, guys. I didn't see this coming. I didn't think they could break through so easily. But the elves are definitely having a tough time. And it's pretty obvious, but the elves, their main skill is using their bows, right? And they don't necessarily need to win in the melee fight. They just need to buy time to give their archers, give them enough time so they can fire their bows and kill the enemy from afar. But that time is running out pretty quickly based upon the black uruks of the mountains just easily crushing through that first line and now harassing the archers of the wood elves. So that's not good. See, he divided up his army here, and I don't think that was a good idea, and this is exactly why. Just doesn't have enough manpower to hold back this force. Don't you hate it when you just don't have enough manpower? It's the worst. All right, let's see what's happening over here. So we do not have a direct attack over for this strategic positioning here. We do have some goblin infantry pushing up over on this flank, but if you look at the mini-map, notice how one of the orc armies, they're going extremely out wide and flanking around. I think he's moving on to the next elven army, which is hiding in the trees at this point. The general, unfortunately, you cannot hide your general in Medieval 2, so they can see him. But I guess the elves are just staying back here? Maybe the elves aren't allowed to go over to the other side? Maybe they have to defend in waves? I'm not really too sure. I didn't see that in the rules, but I assume that's the case. And just look at the aftermath of this. I mean, I did not that was well done. I've never heard of this person too. Heath Horton? That was a good strategy. I really appreciate it. The trolls just opening up a lane and then the infantry just pouring in. And now the elven lines are just crumbled. The archers, I assume, are on the run. Let's see, yeah. They're trying to run, but they're getting cut down. Run, flee for your lives. They might try to regroup with the other elves. Oh, jeez, yep. They're headed over to the other side. Like, guys, that was a terrible idea. We're coming, they're following us. Help. We shouldn't have split up our forces. Help us out. The trolls just knocking them over. The trolls are still very healthy. They've got 10 trolls left in that unit. The spears are ready to, look at that. The multiple layers of spears getting ready for these trolls because they're just so good at breaking the formations. It's going to cause a lot of issues. Come on, hold elves, hold. Uh-oh. We got some wargs pushing forward, warg riders. Are they going to charge head first into those pikes? Arrows coming down, trying to, soften them up before they charge in. Oh, that was epic charge. That was fantastic. So here comes the wargs. That looks so cool. But I don't think you really accomplished too much from that. Oh, this guy's going in deep. Look at this guy. Okay, and he's going to get out. What a slippery little soldier. That's awesome. Slippery little soldier. That sounds weird. But the trolls, they don't have the momentum of their charge, and I think they're finally getting cut down. They took a lot of hit points there, and now they're down to 8. 8 trolls are left. The rest of the elves are just trying to evacuate from that location. Just random orcs are running down in the valley, trying to cut them down, making sure none of them make it to the retreating location. And there's another fight over on this side. We got Von Mountain sending in his goblin infantry, trying to break through, and they are breaking through, getting to the Royal Guard. But the Royal Guard, they may be archers first, but they are a close second in melee. They've got these really cool two-handed axes, and they can hold their own in melee. Here comes some swordman support, though. They're going to line up first before they engage. Here we go. Get ready. Charge. Awesome. And we got some spears coming down. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there they go. They're charging in. They're going to butcher these goblins. Just butcher them dead. Okay, so the good news for the elves. I mean, so far this battle has been a little rough for the elves. They've had a very difficult time against these trolls. But the good news is that most of the trolls are dead. Or at least one unit of trolls are dead. And they're not exactly, the evil forces are not attacking together. Now they have two full armies, one way up here in the north and one down in the south if you look on the mini-map. Two armies they're going to have to worry about. So that's a little troubling, but since the evil forces are not attacking together, the elves, like, once again, can focus down their firepower and hopefully destroy each army one after another. The Wood Elves, they're doing much better on this location. He's got to kill those trolls, though. And the arrows, I mean, they just need more time. But they've got this great hill that is just, they're racking up kills. Percentage killed, it's actually more of the orcs have died, percentage-wise. And remember, there's more of them. So they certainly have killed more. Let's see what's happening over here. Okay, so now we have the heavy goblin halberds pushing on this choke point. Over on the other side, we have more fighting. So multiple choke points are being fought for. But really, the one that's most concerning for the elves are the ones where the trolls are located at. Over at these other locations, I'm pretty sure the elven spears can hold out for a pretty long time. The archers in the back, though, are not making it an easy task whatsoever. Firing through the trees, and trees are 80% air, so most of those arrows are going to hit. I'd say like 80% of them. They're going to hit and get some kills. Oh yeah, a lot of arrows flying overhead. Looks like most of them are missing though, but a lot of them are hitting. I mean, there's not much the elves can do about that. I mean, they can try to fire back, which it looks like they are doing that, but really they just have to sit and wait for the enemy to use up all their ammo. Let's head back here where the fight is still raging on. And here the elves continue to, oh my goodness. Look at that beautiful fight. You got the banners of Mordor, and you have the wood elves standing against all those pikes. Come on, elves. You got this. They've got nice archer support from the woodland sentinels. Uh-oh, what's this? What is this, guys? Finally, the third orc army is... Oh, we got ourselves a cab battle. And the back lines, deep in the Forest of Mirkwood, a great battle was met. Wargs versus the Pathfinders. Wargs, I think, are... I really don't know the stats exactly, but I think the Wargs are a little bit better in melee, but the Pathfinders are better with cab charges. I could be wrong about that, though, so don't quote me on it. But more and more the Pathfinder's coming in. He's got to rely on these guys. He's got to get some good charges. He's got to get some good charges. Come on. Yeah, look at all the Pathfinders dead there. Yeah, they're losing a lot of guys. Some more pockets of fighting in the back lines of Mirkwood. And this is really good for Miles because he's going to be able to flank around and attack the very vulnerable side of the elves. The elves need to send some reinforcements. Yeah, there they go. They're sending some royal guard. They're going to have to use up their arrows quickly, and then they're going to switch to their great axes to defend against the flanking force of the Orcs of Gundabad. But I think they're going to wait a little bit. They're going to build up their force and then push forward. That's definitely helping out the elves because it's buying them time to set up a back defense, a rear defense. Let's see how the fight's going on here. The elves are holding, but they've taken some casualties. And the percentage is really starting to pick up for the elves. The elves are getting a lot of kills at this point. You can see 31% of the orcs have been killed, 23% of the elves. That's still a pretty high percentage for these elves. There they go, they're loading up a shot here. I love it. Looks so cool. The defense of Mirkwood, everyone. Most of them firing straight up into the air. I think they're killing the reserves, going after enemy archers. So where are those shots going? Oh, they're going for the heavy goblin infantry back there, which is smart because you avoid friendly fire. I don't know if these elves are going to be able to defeat these orcs. I mean, this is pretty close. All right, oh, wait, hold that. Oh, here we go. We got a back defense here over on this side. We also have Sin of the Dark Cloud sending over his Pathfinders over to help the elves holding the front line. Now we've got the fight. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. They're holding against the evil men. The misguided men, I should say. But that is just so many of them. I don't know how long they can hold. Using their numbers, just the muscle, to bully their way through this line and to get to the archers. That's okay, though. These archers can definitely hold their own in melee. Look at just sniping them out as they charge. See, that's a risky move. Like, it's a smart move, especially when you have the numbers against the defenders to just muscle your way through the front lines. But you also lose a lot of troops by doing that. They get a little careless. I think the elves eventually are going to have to send in reinforcements. Oh, he's got some palace guard, folks. Some palace guard. The palace guard, in case you didn't know, they are insanely good, and they will hold this line. I promise you that. They will certainly hold this line. He's got more archers ready to use their swords. Support this back line. He's still holding here, but only just. I think we got some troll reinforcements about to charge in. Arrow support as well. That's something they have to deal with. Yep, here comes the charge. He's got to send more elves over here. He's got to kill those trolls. I mean, if one flank, if one choke point falls, then the entire defense falls. The elves are able to continue to hold back here. This is good. You can see that the orcs in the Misty Mountains have sent up reinforcements. We do have some mountain orc berserkers, though. That's going to be an issue. And they were able to hold here. Nothing's really attacking here. He might have to send these elves away from this post because, I mean, it's risky, but it just doesn't seem like the orcs are attacking on all fronts. So yeah, we still have this massive orc army just kind of waiting. And let us not forget about the reinforcement army. They are now on the march. Happy Meal is leading this army, and I think he's going to engage the secondary elven defense, which they're ready. They're ready to fight. So this is still greatly in favor of the orcs, but again, these elves are really good. You've seen it many times before where these elves just get tons and tons of kills. But the defenses are crumbling, and they're crumbling fast. The spears, most of them have died to the trolls. Archers are now evacuating the location, giving up on their post, and falling back. They're still holding in the center with great numbers. Fantastic numbers. The Pathfinders have now joined the front line, trying to use their great lances to cut down the mountain orc berserkers. He should try to get, yeah, he should get his cap. Oh, there's some vulnerable targets, some archers down here. It's a pretty small unit, but whatever. Take them out. But if he can get this cav going and just try to get a hammer and anvil on all this infantry, get them to break, and then the elves can send over more reinforcements over to this side, where the trolls have now broken through, the floodgates have opened, as I like to say, and the enemy forces are not accounted for. The trolls are going to attack the back lines of strategic choke points. Oh yeah, but the elves are still holding. The palace guard still very strong, killing tons and tons of orcs. Come on, kill those trolls. The trolls are down to 6. Is that right? 6 trolls? Okay, so they're like about halfway there. Halfway dead. And the elves are victorious over here. The elves are victorious. That was a crazy last stand by them. Now we have some warg riders trying to protect their archers, also containing the pathfinders from being able to flank around and get some good hammer and anvil. So I think the orcs kind of gave up on this location before they were even ready, if you know what I mean. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say something. This is kind of late, but if they kill Azog, then the battle is over. If Azog dies, then the orcs flee in terror because they have no proper commander, and the victory is towards the elves. That's an important note. I'm sure some of you guys will miss that. That's my bad. I'll write something in the comments. Okay, so this is still a pretty even fight here. But it's still, they still have to worry about the trolls, which are mostly dead. There's 2 trolls left. But he's about to fight the palace guard, which the palace guard should butcher those trolls. But I mean, at this point, 2 trolls is not really going to do that much. Heavy goblin infantry joining the front line. They need to send more over here. The elves have easily won this flank. There's 1 troll left. There we go. The trolls are dead, guys. For all you guys who just complain that trolls are OP, well, they're all dead, and you don't have to worry about them anymore in this battle. And the fight over on this choke point is also winding down, where it looks like the elves are going to continue to hold. And that was an impressive last stand. Here comes the hammer and anvil I was talking about. Yes. Go, Pathfinders. Make a path through the orcs. They don't find paths. They're path makers. You know what I mean? They make paths throughout the legion of orcs. What is this? Some underground goblins. Finally, they're sending up reinforcements. And I think they're trying to ambush the Elven King's Guard. This might be the unit where Thranduil's in. In fact, let's see. Can we find Thranduil? Oh, Thranduil. That sassy Elven King. Okay, so they're setting up the goblins, the underground goblins, which are pretty tough, from what I remember. They're pretty tough. And it looks like they are sending more reinforcements this way. We can see Miles is sending up his legions of orcs, orc marauders. So they're gonna try to break through this strategic choke point. The elves, I'm pretty confident in the elven numbers back here. I think they can easily hold against that. But so this main army here, the reinforcement army, led by Happy Meal, still on the march. Looks like there was a couple fight. I don't know. I think this is from arrows coming in from the elves. So again, they're trying to attack the back lines of the elves. So the elves are doing really great, guys. I mean, honestly, I was concerned about the elves because it's like, oh, the good guys always lose, the defenders always lose. Well, maybe not today. Maybe not today. And that is a much smaller army. Okay, more and more orcs coming up this way. So they're really trying to focus down that back line. Once again, there's still nothing going on here. There's some goblins pushing here. The underground goblins. The hipster goblins. The cringy goblins. So I don't know if... I could have mistaken up the rules. I think I messed up the rules here a little bit. But I think if the elves, like, they have to hold their ground here. Once they win their battles, then they can send the reinforcements back over to the other side. Maybe that's one of the rules. Should have looked into the rules a little bit better. More hammer and anvil coming in from the Pathfinders. Actually just running by. So where are they headed? I think we got more orcs coming up this way. So the orcs are not done yet. They're still going to put pressure on multiple flanks. We don't have a lot of elves over here. This is a major issue for the elves. There's one elf, a lone elf, defends this strategic choke point, and he's getting destroyed right now. He can't even get a swing in. There he goes, one swing, but he's surely gonna die. But I think they should definitely send a lot of reinforcements that way. They can break through and then cause some issues for the back lines, maybe. I mean, these elves are just so tough. Oh, wait, what's this, guys? What's this over here? The dark forces are mobilizing, attacking some pathfinders of Sin of the Dark Cloud. More and more arrows coming in. They're about to attack the strategic location. Okay, so the spears, they're reforming. The archers are just relentlessly firing into that big blob of orcs. We got another charge from the pathfinders. Some friendly fire coming in from the elves, which is unfortunate. Go, pathfinders, go. The spears form shield wall. And get ready for the charge of the orcs. And these giant moose stag things need to get out of the way. You're breaking the spear wall formation. Like, come on, man. Dude, get out of the way. I'm trying to fight these orcs. You're breaking my formation. Orc riders, they're charging in. I think they're going to try to support the infantry, I assume. I mean, they're really not going to get much done in prolonged melee against spears. But Happy Meal finally assaults the back line. And still a lot of orcs over here from Miles. Still a ton of orcs. Waiting in the trees. That's something suspicious about that. See, I think, okay, let's slow it down here, guys. I think he's gonna stop the reinforcement elves from getting over to the other side. Because I think those elves holding in the front line have to defend. Have to defend the back lines. So the goblins, they're setting up small amount of forces, not really doing a ton. They're just trying to keep these elves occupied. And the elves are now marching down this pathway. Some great hammer and anvil from the pathfinders, cutting down these orcs. Let's head back over to this main fight, because this is where most of the fighting is at this point of the battle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at this. Just trying to muscle their way through this defense. Got some javelins being tossed into the fray. Pretty soon they're going to overwhelm these elves. The elven archers, I can imagine, are pretty close to running out of ammo. I mean, they use it up so quickly. Look, they just sniped out those the orcs who got behind the front lines. Oh my god, here comes the troll. Oh my god, just throwing around these orcs. I love the new troll armor. Looks pretty great. Okay, there we go. There we go, guys. The elves are surrounded. The archers are falling back. We got reinforcements coming in from Sin of the Dark Cloud. He's got to repatch up that hole in the lines. Archers are also focusing down that flanking blob. Nice. Good job patching up the defenses. So is there any fighting going on here? Yes, there is. He sent his divisions of Rudor men to attack the other side. It's actually, yeah, Happy Meal. And now, yep, Miles is sending in what's left of his army. Remember, Miles never committed his force entirely. I think he sent a couple troops here and there. Ooh, but they're getting sprayed. They're getting shot down by some elven archers. Look at that. Let's go back and look at the bloodshed over here. This is insane. Where are those archers coming from, though? All the way, are they up in the mountain? Yes, they are. Look at this. A great spot for these archers. Great vantage point. For us humans, all we see is trees, but the elven eyes can look through the tiniest holes through the trees and fire directly at the orcs. Got some Gundabad guard. They're finally attacking on multiple fronts. There we go. Now the pressure is really rising here. This is becoming a big issue. They've got to defend this location, and it's crumbling. It is crumbling fast. The elves may be victorious here, but they've got to send reinforcements over to the other side if they're going to be able to save them. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for the assault. I mean, I don't really see a lot of orcs over around this area. He's got warg riders, but they're just kind of keeping them in reserve at this point. Alright, cool. So, let's see what the elves are doing. So where are their forces? I guess he's just holding them back. I mean, it's not like he has that many forces anyways. It's not like he's going to be able to send a lot of support. Alright, so let's head back over to the main fight, guys. The final stand. The final stand of the elves. Okay, so the elven spears. Once again, they're starting to lose their ground. We have trolls of Gundabad flanking around. I love these trolls, man. They look so great. So they're going to cause a lot of trouble for the back lines. I mean, really, so far the elves haven't even faced elite troops. This is the elite army attacking this elven defense. All elves must fall back and defend this location. They've got to group up or they're going to get picked apart. Look at all these trolls. You know, I was wrong. Before I said all the trolls are dead. No, that's not true. There's plenty of trolls on the battlefield. I completely forgot about the trolls of Gundabad. I was just thinking there were snow trolls. How could I forget them? They're just so awesome looking. I am sorry. But they might have to fall back to the hill. This way, it's just one choke point, and that'll let him group up his forces. For a second, I thought he was grouping up his forces. He does have the palace guard. They're going to be a very important tool in this defense. But it just seems like every choke point is crumbling. Everything is just dying so quickly. The defenses are crumbling. The archers are still doing pretty well. Oh, here comes more palace guard trying to protect the archers. Oh no! Are you serious? One of the generals, I don't know if that's Thranduil, but dead from enemy archers. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that if you went to the general and he's like, dude, you're gonna die from an orc arrow. Never would have saw it coming. But there goes one of the orc generals. So that's a bit of a fair trade, not really, because the bad guys have more generals compared to the elves. But the elves are gonna hold their ground here and just, I guess, put up their final stand a little bit later. I would send them over to this side and just try to group up all the elves. Maybe they realize that it's lost, it's completely lost, but it's not over. It's not over yet. Look at the balance of power. Like 81% of the orcs have been killed. That's a very promising number. So they can still win this. They just need to buy more time for the archers. These hammerers too. The Witch Realm Hammer Guard are so tough. I don't know if they're just as good as the Elven Palace Guard, but it's a pretty close matchup. There goes another general. He's been slain by the Palace Guard. Very fitting of such an elite unit. So that's going to be huge. I think that was Happy Meal's general. So there goes 2 Goblin Orc generals. What a battlefield over in this, like, courtyard location. So cool. But unfortunately, most of the lines are crumbling. We do have the Pathfinders just, you know, running left and right, trying to get as many charges as possible. Pinballing. They're pinballing around. Oh, jeez. Look at them. Look at them just use their numbers. Oh, and the defenses over here are completely lost. Oh my god, this is so close too. The balance of power is dead even. I love it. I love it when these custom scenarios get so close. Do the elves have enough troops here to hold? It might not seem like it, but remember, these are some elite elven warriors. They've got the Palace Guard. They have Axemen. The King's, what are they called? They're called the Royal Guard. The Palace Guard, whatever. They got great units, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so I think the elves, they need to move forward. I think now is the time for them to push over to the other side and attack the flank of these orcs as this main last stand of the elves hold. Now is the time for those elven reinforcements. Maybe that's why he was waiting. Maybe he was waiting for the orcs to fully commit their armies over to this final stand, and then they can surprise attack them and attack the rear of their forces as they're fighting this main fight. Nice charge there from the Royal Guard, getting those axes going. And just look at the orcs. It's like a river running uphill. There's tons and tons of orcs. There goes another charge from the Royal Guard, buying more time for the archers to kill more. The percentage killed is getting closer and closer, which is not good for the elves. The trolls are starting to thin out. Really got to get those trolls to die. The Palace Guard are still alive. They're still down to 35. So that's good. But I just don't think the elves have enough to win this fight. Oh boy. They're really crumbling here. The Royal Guard are down to 69. Really, they're down. They still get quite a bit, but it just seems like they're dying much faster than they are because they're just surrounded by orcs. The archers are now getting harassed by a troll. That's not good. Yeah, but they're gonna. I guess they're in guard mode, but they're gonna stand there. Well, they're gonna stand their ground and continue to fire, even though like all chaos is breaking about all around them. Come on, elves. Come on, where are these guys? Why don't they send in the reinforcements? I guess they're worried about the Warg Riders. I mean, he's got some Warg Skirmishers. Oh, out of nowhere! The hidden spears. That was cool. I even forgot about those spears. Okay, there's really nothing going on here. So let's go back over here because this is the fun part. It's such a cool little area of Mirkwood. Get it? Yeah. Get some kills. Okay, so at this point of the fight, what the elves are trying to do here, they know they're not going to live to see live to see the next night, but they can kill enough orcs that the elves that survived the other battle, the first battle we witnessed, they could then clean up these orcs. I don't know, these elves are putting on a good show here. They're making it very difficult for these orcs. This is the weakest part of their defense on this side. And now they're charging through. This troll is going berserk. Yep, now, oh jeez. He's got some berserkers behind enemy lines. Mirkwood will not fall today. Warg support. Yeah, this is where the defenses die pretty quickly. Come on, just kill the troll though. Just kill the troll. Do it. If there's one thing they must do, it's kill the troll before they perish. Oh, jeez. And the elves are down to a handful of troops, surrounded by many. We do have a flanking charge for some elven archers, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to help, but it's not going to be enough. And the wargs pouring down the mountain like an avalanche coming down the mountain. Everyone was dying. So both armies really just ripped each other apart. We got two lone elves standing, you know, shoulder to shoulder. See how long these two elven brothers last. Alright, let's just make up a backstory for these guys. Alright, so they're brothers who fought in the same unit for most of their lives. Now they stand together, outnumbered by the evil men of Middle-earth, the Rudor, whatever. Oh no, dude, help your brother out. I'm surprised. I mean, come on, they can win this. There we go. He gets a hit, and he gets a kill. They're not dead yet, but he's deep in enemy lines now. They're getting kind of divided here. Let's see if he can get. Oh no, now he's surrounded. Dude, charge in, help your brother out, man. Oh, he's getting more hits, guys. Oh, he gets another kill. And he's gonna do a kill animation, so we know he's not gonna die because you can't kill anyone. Oh, his brother died though. His brother's dead as he's killing so. And then he's like, huh, brother, no. And then he just gets killed. He just goes berserk, which is fitting because he's fighting berserkers. And now he dies with his brother. That elf mother will be sad. And the orcs are also victorious on the other fronts. And the final stand of the elves was just not enough. But there's still one more left. The one last stand of the elves. They're gonna have to hold this hill once again against this large force. But this force it's gonna take a while to get to the other side. So I'm just gonna fast forward, skip ahead to the point where they assault the final defense of the elves. Alright guys, welcome back. So finally the dark forces of Dol Guldur have pushed forward and now are ready to harass the elves. We do have some warg riders about to charge in. Oh, surprise attack from the spears who are hiding in the long grass, even though there's no long grass there. They're just natural ambushers, I guess. But yeah, that was awesome. That was great. So the wargs were not able to charge the archer. That was perfect for Son of Eladris. That was great. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, they're now going to ambush the wargs who thought they had the advantage. The rest of the forces are grouping up. They're advancing, getting ready to attack this final hill. You can see the forces there resting up a little bit. Now, before I mentioned why didn't the elves who were fighting over here, oh, just look at the aftermath, look at that. Why did they not send their forces at the beginning over to their allies and help them, you know, have one united army fight on this hill? And you know, it's really because of Happy Meal. If you remember during the beginning of the battle, he flanked around with his army to cut off the reinforcements. So that is why the elves were greatly divided there, and they just were surrounded. They couldn't send enough troops over to support each other, which, you know, he could have tried to send his elves over from the back defenses, but it would have been really risky because he would have been out in the open against Warg Riders. And I think just defending here, back in this defensive position, he got a lot more kills because, you know, he was able to hold choke points compared to if he tried to run out and fight the enemy. Just a little mental note there. Because I was asking, like, why did he not send forces over? But I think that's the reason why. So let's fast forward a little bit. I was assuming this was going to start here pretty soon. But the infantry being a little indecisive. Just a lot of warg action going on. Cycle charges. We'll do normal speed. There we go. Battle music underway. Here comes another cycle charge. I think the elves really, or the orcs really don't know how many elves are left. Because a lot of them are just hiding. A lot of them are hidden in the grass. Remember, it's that home field advantage paying off. Got Bolg's champions. They're a tough unit. The elves are doing a great job on taking care of these Warg Riders, using just 2-3 units to cut them down. Oh, there goes one of the generals. Another general has fallen. That's going to really help their morale. Another warg unit charging in. Come on, infantry's got to be close behind. Here we go. Finally, infantry engaging. This is going to be a close fight. It is in favor of the elves, which is good because I'm sure most of you guys are rooting for the elves. One, they're the good guys, and two, they're the defenders, and apparently defenders never win. Jeez, they got a lot of Warg Riders, man. That is tough. That is very tough. Alright, more spears reinforcing this front line. But their flank is going to be exposed to Warg Riders. Unless they send up more infantry to support them. And they're going to flank around with the Berserkers or put pressure on the flank. There's also a fight going on in the tree line, and they stack the dead orc bodies, and look at the lone orc. He's like, move out of the way. Move out of the way, we won't kill you. Because, you know, the orcs always had those, like, what do you call them? I don't really know. I don't know the correct terminology for their accents, but they always had the, like, uneducated English accents. It's very, like, street, like, move out the way. We're gonna kill you. What is he doing? Just talking some trash to these elves. That's awesome. But the rest of the forces are grouping up. And I think this is where like 80% of his army is going to be really putting pressure down against these elves. Try to break through one of the strategic choke points. Oh, but the champions here. Oh, nice flank of the savages. Savages. Flanking around the elves. This is a big problem, guys. The elves are... I think they're trying to defend too much. I think he needs to fall back and just defend these just this area right here. These guys defend this front line, retreat the infantry, and defend this side. Then you can fight in just one small area instead of trying to defend against so much, especially against Warg Riders. Oh, here comes more wargs. More spears out of nowhere, ambushing the wargs. There they go. That warg unit is gone. Dead as soon as they charged in. Finally, he's pushing up more infantry. And the lone orc continues to talk trash. Oh, they're going through a gap in the defenses. But is there a unit waiting for them? Man, this is like ambush city for these orcs. There they go. They're finally charging in. Where's that lone orc, though? Did he charge in, too? Dang it. Is that him right there? That might be him. No, that's not him. Where did he go? Is this him? No. I don't know where he went. He might be dead now. So the fight for this flank is underway. A small force, but I don't think this is going to be a strong enough force to break through. I think the elves got this one. As long as they don't crumble here, as long as they don't expose any flanks or any like holes in their defenses, they should be able to hold. Now they got the palace guard moving in. Son of Imladris, he is a sneaky fellow. He's got a lot of hidden troops everywhere. He might need to send these Palace Guard over on this front line because these Hammerers are so good. So a very solid line from the elves, excuse me. And the front line continues on here, but again, I think the elves have this under control. So they just did not kill enough elves over on this side. They butchered the rear defense, but this main front line, this main defense, not enough. He is flanking around though, this is huge. But the elves saw it, they saw it coming. Oh wait, no, they're gonna, oh wait, they're going to fight the wargs. They are occupied. They're gonna be stuck fighting these wargs. The flank is exposed. And the raiders are gonna flank around the Royal Council, which I think Thranduil is in. I'm just gonna pretend this is Thranduil because the other general died, and I don't really want Thranduil dead. So we're gonna say he's Thranduil. We can do whatever we want. Did they defeat the Warg Riders? They scared them off, so now they're gonna retreat back. Such a great fight. This was a great scenario. I really like that back defense of the elves. That little like wooded courtyard. That was really exciting. But as time goes on, the armies of Dol Guldur are soon to be dead. 96% of their army has been destroyed. The elves now charging to the front lines. Now counter-flanking the original flank of the Witch Realm Scourge Raiders. And the elves continue to stay true on this side. More raiders pushing forward. Pikemen lined up. He's got to rely. He should have sent in these pikemen a little bit earlier, I think. It's going to be a close fight, but I think the elves have the slight edge in this one. The hammerers are starting to thin out. They're no match to the Palace Guard. Yeah, so if you're ever playing Reforged and you see Palace Guard going up against you, be very afraid. Try to take them out with archers or something because they're gonna die. You're gonna lose a lot of infantry trying to fight them in melee. Oh, here comes another line of elves. That looks so awesome. Fresh elves to the front line. Look at that. Look at that. That's awesome looking. That is so cool. Just seeing them march up like that. Really cool stuff. Just seems like the elves just keep finding. It's like elves are just popping out of the ground. Endless number of them. And they are victorious mostly on this front. The job's not quite over yet. They've got a handful of orcs they have to deal with. But pretty soon they're going to be able to break free from this fight. Maybe even try to flank around the other orc front line. Maybe get them to break. Miles, his general is still alive. Azog. Oh, look at Azog. The pale orc. His cute little weapon hand. Little blade hand. Here's the flank from the heavy infantry. The elven swords, the elven blades. That should break those goblins. They're going to try to countercharge. They're now surrounded. And finally, the pikemen have joined the battle. We got the final troll. This is the final troll of the battlefield. The battlefield. Oh my, where's he going? He's like, I'm out of here. We're not going to win this one. GG. cool stuff. Alright, the elves have finally won on this flank, and they're now free to just flank around. It is going to take him a little while to get to the other side, but he could go down this way, push around, and get behind the orcs. I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win this fight at this point. So we are going to do ×2 speed. I just don't think the orcs have enough to break through the elves. And remember, all they have to do is kill Azog, and it's victory. It's victory. The elves will win. Oh, Azog's getting into a trap here. He's going for some spears. They're in loose formation, which is actually... Oh, and he's dead! Azog is dead! Which, it doesn't really matter at this point because the battle's pretty much over anyways. And there you have it. Captain Azog is gone. So that's going to wrap up today's battle. 7,000 kills from Imraytheon. Fantastic. Really great battle here. Once again, created by Sin of the Dark Cloud. Let's look at the stats of Captain Azog. So we'll just, actually I think we'll see 2 of the armies. So there's all the kills for the units. Thank you guys so much for joining me in another epic adventure in Middle-earth. This was a great battle. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and share and subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see more epic battles. This really was a battle of positioning and just a battle of few against many, but skill quality was much better than quantity. Even though the elves were divided on multiple fronts, they were able to get enough kills to the point where overall they would be victorious. So a great fight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.